Today we're going to be joined by a subscriber of this channel who survived the 9/11 terrorist attacks working in the North Tower. We're going to revisit the site 20 years later, hear his story, and see what we can learn from it. I think your story is so important now more than ever, as we have viewers on this channel who were either not born or too young to understand the magnitude of what happened that day.
Still kind of surreal. I mean, it kind of feels like it's been yesterday, but it's been a long time. I remember how it used to be, the towers, the place, the fountain, and it looks very unreal. I mean, like everything is gone, and it's also sad, you know, a lot of people lost their lives. So I got to US about 92, just right after the Soviet Union broke down. I basically came here with no language, no money, just with my mom. I got Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and my first job was actually, I ended up in Lehman Brothers, which is located in World Financial side, on that side, on the right side of us. March, April 2001, we moved from World Financial Center to One World Trade Center.
When you woke up on the morning of September 11th, 2001, did you ever in a million years think what occurred could have happened?
No, actually. In fact, it was a regular day. I was running out of the door, living back in Queensview Gardens, jumping Legato Trail Roads. It was the underground mall, and somewhere here, if I remember correctly, used to be the doors that was entering into the World Trade Center 1. That's how I used to get to work. The only reason I was even in the office because I was doing a support shift. I worked for IT. So my shift started at 8:30, which is early. Most people were still not there. It basically was a cubicle facing that way, and the boss's office was like close by. So I walked there, the manager wasn't there. I walked back to the cubicle. As I was walking back, and I was walking towards the office, so the river was there, the office was on the left. As I get out of my cubicle, I mean, all of a sudden the building starts shaking like strong. Kind of felt like an earthquake because I've been in an earthquake before, and I thought it was strange and kind of unusual to have an earthquake in New York. And it didn't last long, it probably lasted like 10-12 seconds, but it was enough for me to think that. Also was enough to me to see in the corner there was a manager who went under the desk, so I thought, maybe I should do the same. So I walked back to the cubicle, ducked under the desk. But what I heard is like a loud explosion somewhere on the top, and the next thing I know, I was facing the window and I saw stuff literally flying in front of me, like the paper, some small subjects, everything was flying in front of that. And at that point, that manager got up, walked by me and left to the exit, and I stood there wondering, and I decided, you know what, I probably should get out, you know. The staircase was only wide enough for like 2 people, right? So people were walking a single pile against the wall, and they're keeping the left side empty. So I see a lot of people just simply slowly walking down the stairs. So I thought, okay, I'm doing the right thing, and I just really followed the people. There was no fire alarm, and we have those. We had training for those. There were no announcement. Nothing would happen. People simply was kind of self-organizing and walking down the stairs along the line, along the wall. One rumor that's going on, and the rumor was that there was just like the amateur, one of the small plane might have accidentally crashed into the building. That was kind of the story.
You say rumors. How are rumors spreading as you go?
Basically, okay, so if you imagine I was walking in the pile, there was people in front of me, people behind it, and we would talk. I would talk to people there, I would turn and talk to people behind him. And I was just talking to them. They will say, you know, this or that, you know, what happened, you know. They also were passing the cell phones because at that time a lot of people didn't have a cell phone, so I would try to call. Of course, the calls did not work. Once we were getting to the lower floors, probably somewhere around 10 or 12, I don't remember exactly, they were starting to smell like smoke, like a dark smoke, and it was starting difficult breathing, and you can see the black smoke. And it's interesting, it was coming from the bottom, not from the top. It was getting into the staircase somehow. So at some point, what happened is the door opened. Like I walked past the door. So if you imagine the staircase, every floor has a door which is sealed. You can only open it from outside, so you can't get out. So at some point, I saw some door open, and me and a couple of others make some decision. You know what's hard to breathe? Let's take a chance and walk through it. So I kind of ran through the door, walked through the stairs. We literally walked through the floor, past the elevator to another staircase, and went down the second staircase. Now, inside the second staircase, after walking for 5-10 minutes, then we start seeing a couple of changes. First, I start seeing some actual firefighters and some police walking out, but only at that point, and that was a while. And once I get to the lower floor, once I get downstairs, it was really, everything looked like apocalypse, basically. The water was deep. There was all the sprinkles surrounding. The water was deep. The water was probably as deep as this high, you know, like it was literally walking in water, and then all the plastic turnstile was broken and lying around, and water everywhere. As you can imagine, like sprinkles running. So we tried to get out front of the building. It was an exit going right outside here. But what happened, first it was blocked. There was police standing on the right side blocking exit.
So the police were literally right here.
Right. So basically, if you can imagine, there's you get downstairs, you're in the middle. There is turnstiles everywhere. What left of it is elevators, and then there is exit on this side from this side of the building. So you can see the whole plaza was full with debris and all. Well, I can see a little bit at the time, right?
So you knew it was not safe to exit there anyway.
Well, it wasn't right. But then I looked at it and I saw it wasn't safe, so I understood that, and they were directing people inside. So what happened is I walked inside the mall. On that side there was a door that goes underneath right into the mall. So they were directing people there, and they walked there. Now, one thing I gotta tell you, all in the lobby was deep in water and sprinkles and all. So I was all wet from the water, and water was everywhere. And then I walked inside, and that's where we're dry. Right?
So you are walking at this point underground in the mall. What was the mood like with every other evacuee?
Basically, everybody just wanted to get out because they have been walking for a really long time, and they were impatient and wanted to get out. Just mostly tired, but they were very calm, you know, like nobody was running or screaming or pushing each other. So we're calmly walking. Plus, at least on the bottom, there were police that kind of directing people towards the specific exit. So when you get out of the mall, there's many exits, but they were like standing and pointing to one specific exit. As we were walking under the mall, there was a part where was escalator leading out, and I was standing on an escalator. I used to have a two-way pager where you can send messages and they would go to voicemail. So out of desperation, I tried to do that. I found out later it never arrived, but I actually tried to send a message home. I believe it was actually working, if I remember correctly. So we got up the escalator, we get out of the building. I did manage to kind of stop for a moment and turn around, and that's where I was really shocked, because when I looked at the building, not only did I saw a huge hole in the building, which I couldn't explain in World War I, but I looked at it and I saw another hole in the second building. And I did not know about it, I didn't feel it because I was in the building, I didn't feel anything at all. And I saw those two huge holes and the smoke coming out, and I was like, wow, this is strange. What in the world happened to that? Somewhere about that area over there, and then after that you can go wherever you want. But as they were controlling the crowd in the middle, the people were standing there, and I kind of thought, well, why are they standing? What are they doing? And my thought was, for a while, I thought, should I watch and all? But I said, I'm tired and all. Let me just get out a little bit away, and then think, what to do next.
You're walking quickly away from the building. Are you concerned about what your family's thinking at that point?
I was, in fact, I was thinking, I was even concerned when I was walking through the building, and even more once I get out, because seeing what's going on and all, I thought there's going to be a big news story. They might be watching TV, they might be wondering what's going on, because they do know I work with World Trade. My family, my friends, they know that. So I was concerned, and that's in fact why I was trying to call in the cell, and that's why I was trying to find a payphone for a while.
And could you find a payphone?
No, well, that's so funny. I found the payphone, it did not work, it was just busy signal. Then I had to get quarters, and I was walking around trying to find the quarters, and I found a vendor, and the vendor had a long line because people just taking their time, they were slow, and I was like, I need the quarters, I need the call. So I finally got a set of quarters, and I found one building where on the wall they had many payphones. They used to be in the city. Besides singular phone, there was many phones. So I thought, okay, great, some of them would work. So I tried one, did not work. I tried the second one. I tried SIM phone. All of them were busy signal, did not work at all. So basically, from the World Trade, I walked through a number of blocks looking for the phone to call home. I tried a bunch of them. I couldn't get a signal. And then eventually, I believe I ended up in Canal Street, although I'm not 100% what subway station. So once I walked downstairs, at the station, everything was closed, and there was a bunch of people trying to figure out what to do because nobody knew, and the message was, well, it's closed until further notice because all the subway was basically suspended. I was standing somewhere like this, and then there were two guys standing next to the fence, in construction clothes, like orange clothes. And they were talking to each other, and one guy tells the other one, it's like, so what do you think happened to that? I said, oh, probably some accident or something. And the other side said, no, terrorists, I tell you, they gotta be terrorists. I said, no. What terrorists in the US, So it was a very strange kind of eerie conversation that they have. Heard some people screaming, the building had fallen, the building had fallen. So I just ran a couple of blocks, even though it was kind of far away, and I know it was, and then I realized, why am I running? So I turned around and I looked, and all I saw is just a little like gray dust, like way behind, all the way over there, just a little bit of a dust or a little gray.
You saw smoke?
Like a smoke, right? Not a dust. Like I don't know what it was, but it was like a little grayish, like distant grayish. That's all I could see. So I stopped and I was walking toward the Penn stations through the streets, and there was a couple of interesting. First, there was periodically, like, and quite a bit, there was a lot of police cars, a lot of firefighters, and all going towards downtown, like from literally like every 5 minutes, every 6 minutes.
And still, at this point, you did not know that it was a terrorist attack.
I did not. All I knew what I saw was some big holes and smoke coming from there, and I just tried to get home, and basically was trying to get to Pittsburgh. I grew up in Soviet Union, so I remember watching a lot of World War II movies. So I was walking there, I see groups of people like literally looking at the TVs, trying to see what's going on. I would walk past the store and I see groups of people here and the groups of people there listening to the radio, watching TV. So that was kind of very eerie feeling, like kind of looked like a movie, right? And then once I get to the Penn station, there was another surprise to me because I saw a lot of people outside, but I said, okay, maybe it's just standing there. But then I tried to walk through the gates, and the gates were closed. So I've heard stories, people were trying to get to the bus and walk across the bridge. People were just trying to get a cab or something because the subway was not working, the Penn station was closed, everything was gone, right? And then as far as atmosphere, one interesting thing I found out, later when they started opening the station, people started lining up in the line, and they have the planes flying by, the army planes, they were flying low.
You started your day like any other day, and you ended it at Penn Station with fighter jets flying by and having almost no way to escape Manhattan.
That's right, and I stayed there for hours. I literally, probably till like 2, 3, maybe even later, I stayed till the open Penn station to get home. I got home probably like 5 o'clock, like wandering the city almost the whole day.
When did you find out exactly what happened? At what point?
Just later. Basically, once I got home, I told the story and I was tired. I just kind of dropped and went to sleep. And the next day, probably the next day.
It's been 20 years. How do you think New York City has changed because of that day?
First, it was immediate change. There was a couple of things that happened right away. One of the most obvious thing is people start paying more attention what's going on around it. More, if something, hear noise or something, they were more kind of turning faster or looking. There was a famous saying like
see something, say something.
Yeah, see something, say that would happen at the same time, which was actually true because even I would look around to see something suspicious.
In those years before living in New York, maybe you were concerned about crime, but you were never concerned about terrorism before September 11th.
No, I was never concerned about terrorism.
It was the end of innocence.
Right. It's kind of an uneasy feeling. We don't know what to expect. That's another thing. That's another way to describe it. It was kind of an uneasy feeling, like we didn't know what would happen next. And I believe that was with a lot of people.
3 days before 9/11, the memorial is not very busy, and in my opinion, visiting here is the most important stop, I think, if you come to New York City.
I definitely agree, in the beginning it was kind of, everybody wanted to get here, it was all packed up, it was a new thing. I think part of the COVID, it kind of slowed down, but I've been here even a couple of years in COVID, it was more crowded. I still think it's a place to be and to see and kind of reflect and see what happened.
Did you know anyone personally that didn't make it out?
We only had a couple of floors in the building and there was not that many people. And at least all the people I talked to, they're all good, they all survived, they're all, I guess, lucky as me. People like to see the superhero movies, like Batman, the Superman. But really, I think the everyday heroes are the first responders who kind of went and risked their life, and all they try to do is save other people. They don't care about themselves, they don't care about anything else. Just try to help others. People just slow down for no reason. One of the things my mom kept telling me, mom thinks that, I don't know, maybe that's not the right thing to say. They said technically it's kind of like my birthday where I survive, or like, I guess my survival day, so she kept reminding me that I should remember. I definitely remember without her, but she definitely always, when it comes to 9/11, she she always remember how lucky I am, and that's why it always tells me that. People kind of start forgetting when this thing happened, and they think it's like, well, this is the past, it's not gonna happen, but you know, that's not true. Maybe it won't happen the same thing, and hopefully it won't happen, because that is really terrible. My key takeaway, you gotta remember what happened, you gotta remember how to happen, you gotta remember how to prevent that from happening, or what we can do in society. And also just in general, kind of live your life, live day to day, every day, you know, because you never know, you know, like what's gonna happen.
Thank you so much for sharing your amazing story. I hope people really learned a lot from this. And tell us in the comments your 9/11 memory. Tell us what happened to you that day if you were alive, what your reaction was, and you know what you think we can learn from this going forward, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, until next time.